I love coffee. It is guaranteed to make your day just a tiny bit better. If you're 64.7% happy, it'll bump you to a 70. Hey, that's a passing grade. Anyway, I love it. I love making it. I love going to get it. I love everything about it. And it all stops. For the next 30 days, I'm putting every single dollar I would have otherwise spent on coffee into the S&P 500. Starting tomorrow. Still got a little bit left, so it would be a shame to waste it. Alright, so here's the deal. Every morning I make myself a pour over pretty consistently. Now, about half the time, that's actually it. The other half of the time, I either make myself a cappuccino here at home or I go out to a coffee shop. Therein lies the problem. Those damn coffee shops. I love them. I love working there. And honestly, I don't drink that much coffee, but it is a daily thing and that's the problem. So for the coffee I drink at home, plus all the coffee that I use to make for my friends or whatever, I go through 2 of these bags pretty much. They're about $17 a bag. Let's round up to 20. So that's $40 right there. $40. All right, let's go to Robinhood. $40. It's $40 right there. Just in the coffee that I drink here at home. So let's see how much I end up investing by the end of the month. Enjoy while you have it. Just one more thing before I go. Insane, that's so good. This is so stupid. Caffeine narrows the blood vessels that surround your brain. When you stop taking it, they expand again, and that can cause pain. You know, I've been expecting a headache, so it's not a big deal. Bring it on. I'm really hoping the stock market does well this month. If I lose money and I don't get to drink coffee, I don't know that I'll get over that. In other news, I have now completely replaced coffee. Yes, I have a fridge in my closet with sparkling water. And it is almost as good as coffee. I lied, it's not nearly as good. My sister would be so proud. She hates coffee, she acts like I'm a drug addict. And yes, technically you could say coffee is a drug. And yes, technically, when I don't have it, I get headaches. But that's not like withdrawal, that's just my body reminding me that I haven't had coffee and punishing me for it. I'm not a drug addict. So y'all wanna know what I didn't account for? My fiance. She loves coffee. Maybe not as much as me, but pretty close. And we like to go on coffee dates, and when I ask her for coffee, I'm paying for her drink. Yeah, well, not this month. Sorry. So now when we go to coffee shops together, I'll just stand back, invest the amount for 2 drinks, and she'll get her own.
Would that be all for you today? That's it?
But that's not all. She likes the honey cinnamon double shot oat milk latte. That'll be like $6.50, so I'll invest that plus whatever mine costs. The other problem is she's constantly flaunting her coffee right in front of me. Yes, I get it. I'm in hell, but I stay strong. Cheers. All right, so we're about halfway through the month right now. I've officially invested around $80, and I'm about 70% less happy. So let's break it down to $82. That's $40 for the lump sum at the beginning for the 2 coffee bags. And the other $40 is pretty much just 4 trips to the coffee shops, $10 each-ish. I actually don't know how to feel about that. In one hand, that is a lot of money, but also it's only 4 trips in half a month, so. You know when it's a lazy Monday morning, you roll out of bed, you make some breakfast, you pick up your fiance because she really wants coffee, and you really want coffee too, and so you're going to the coffee shop, but then you can't get coffee because of the stupid challenge that you decided to do for yourself. Anyways, what you do is you go get coffee.
Time.
God, I have a little bit of a confession to make. I made a mistake today. I made a coffee bet with Catherine. Technically, it wasn't a coffee bet. I bet her $10 that she would be out at the door and ready in 10 minutes. We were going out on a date. She usually takes forever, so I wasn't really worried. But she got ready, I kid you not, in 9 minutes and 50 seconds. And instead of the $10, she made me pay for coffee. But don't you worry, I'm a man of my word. And even though I had coffee, and even though I did very much enjoy it. And even though I paid for the coffee, I ended up also investing another $10. So not the biggest L I've ever taken, but definitely more expensive than it needed to be.
Cheers.
So we're in the last leg of the challenge, you know, last few days, almost to day 30. I miss coffee, but I'm doing all right. I've invested more money than I thought, honestly. It's been kind of eye-opening, not in the best sense, because I also realized how much I spend on coffee, but hey, I'm investing it, so it's not a big deal. I realized there's another issue that raises the amount of money I spend on coffee, and that's not necessarily the amount of coffee I buy, but the cost of coffee. It is so freaking expensive. I live in the middle of nowhere in Waco, and I go to about 3 or 4 local coffee shops, and they all, like, the minimum amount of money you'll spend on a coffee shop is at least $4, but usually it's about 5, plus tip, $5.50. And that's also where I get my coffee beans. And yes, I know what you're thinking. I could just get some cheap off-brand H-E-B or Walmart coffee, but I would rather die. I would rather drink mud water. No, not that mud water, real mud water. I would rather drink decaf. Okay, no, you're right. That's too far. I hate bad coffee. Anyways, does this make me the biggest spoiled brat ever? Sadly, yes. You know, there's a big dichotomy in my soul between being frugal and cheap and not wanting to spend money on anything. This is a $5 t-shirt from H&M with, you know, liking the good stuff. It really is hard to be me. But hey, we all have our crosses to bear. Anyways, we're almost done. Now it's done. Okay, I've officially invested $107. Now, before you start bullying me about how I spent over $100, well, I didn't really spend how I would have otherwise spent over $100 this month. Let me explain. First of all, that's only $30 more than how I was at the halfway point, so that's not that bad. Also, I realized that this experiment's a little skewed by the fact that I already know that I'm not gonna spend money at coffee shops, so I go less, so I invest less. So honestly, this number's maybe a little low, which is just sad. On a normal month, I probably would have spent more. Speaking of, I have the bank statements right here, so we can check those out. Oh, or not. This is honestly embarrassing. All right, y'all ready? June, I spent $185. July, $184. August, $137. That is insane. That is so much more than I thought, so much more than I'm willing to spend on coffee. $180, that is insane. That is more than I spent on gas. That's almost as expensive as my car payment. That is just too much for coffee. I mean, I love you, but that is insane. And if I take the average of how much I think I'm gonna spend on each month, that's $153.55. Now let's plug that into a calculator to see how much that would be if I invested it instead of spending it on coffee in 20 years. So let's just plug these numbers into a compound interest calculator. You can just look that up online real quick. Let's do $100 as an initial investment. My monthly contribution of $157, 20 years, estimated interest rate of 8%, which, I mean, that'll vary, the markets are up and down, but annualized over 20 years, it should give us an average of 8%, maybe even higher. And if you compound that annually, in 20 years, that is $86,621.64. Let's just say in 40 years, I want to retire maybe at 60. That is $490,000, 234. That's almost $500,000 if I just stop drinking coffee. That's also putting it pretty conservatively at 8%. If we do 12%, which can happen, that is now $1,454,000. Oh God. So what am I gonna do? What do I take out of this experiment? 1, I spent way too much on coffee. 2, I do love coffee and I missed it a lot. So spend less? I think it has somewhat to do with something I tweeted a few days ago. If you can't earn more, spend less. But definitely try to earn more. Now, I'm definitely gonna try to earn more, but for now, I gotta cut down on these spendings. $100 and whatever dollars a month on coffee is just too much. I guess this experience has been slightly eye-opening. I didn't think I spent this much on coffee. But I also do think it's important to know how much you value the little things in life. Coffee brings me a lot of happiness. I don't know if I would justify the amount of money I'm spending on it. So it's just about being mindful of the amount of money you spend on things. I think if nothing else, it's good that I have a better idea of how much I'm spending on this, because there's probably a lot of other things that I'm spending a lot of money on that I should go back and check. Do I really need to be spending this amount of money on this? For coffee, probably not. Not gonna give the whole thing up, but it's definitely too much. With that being said, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like, drop a comment if you have something to say. I'm gonna go get a coffee.